are not failing. You're just trying to survive in a world that forgot how to slow down. You're a soul pulled in directions that do not belong to you. In a world that prizes acceleration, you are still expected to bloom in winter. We wake to alarms that jolt us into obligation. We hustle not for joy, but to survive. Even peace is something to be scheduled. We have become waves fighting the tide, not realizing we were the ocean all along. Chinese philosopher and writer Laozi wrote, "The way is simple, but people prefer complexity." So here we are, exhausted not from lack of strength, but from swimming against our nature. But one always has the choice to rebel, not by adding more, but by letting go. In this video, we're going to explore Taoism, an ancient Chinese philosophy that sees life not as a problem to be solved, but as a river to be moved with. And at the heart of Taoism is a quiet, powerful principle. Wu Wei. We'll unpack the foundational ideas of Taoism, the Tao itself, the elusive way that underlies all things, and how sages across history have described it not with definitions, but through metaphors. Water flowing downhill, a tree bending in the wind, a person navigating the world with intuition rather than force. We'll explore Wu Wei, not as passivity or indifference, but as a radical realignment of how we act in the world. You'll see how Wu Wei is about letting the Tao act through you. How, when we stop pushing against the current of life, we begin to act with greater harmony, precision, and peace. Through examples from nature, daily life, and historical thinkers like Laozi and Zhuangzi, we'll show how this principle has practical, liberating wisdom even in today's fast-paced world. Actually, especially in today's fast-paced world, this isn't about withdrawing from life. It's about participating more fully, but with less resistance, less control, less ego. By the end, you may start to see action and stillness not as opposites, but as partners. And maybe, just maybe, you'll feel the quiet invitation Taoism offers to stop striving, to start flowing, to let go, and become part of the way. Chapter 2. What is Wu Wei? Often translated as non-action, but that is a misreading. It does not mean laziness. It means alignment. It is the act of acting without force. The art of effortlessness. Imagine a tree trying to grow faster. Imagine the sun trying harder to shine. Absurd, right? That is the insanity of modern life. Wu Wei is when action and nature are one. Like a fish swimming with the current, like breath, natural, uncommanded. Laozi said, "The sage does nothing, yet nothing is left undone." There is a rebellion in this, to move not with urgency, but with harmony. Chapter 3. A culture built on force. We are taught to think faster, outdo, outshine, outperform. The world does not value flow. It values friction. The modern culture tells you to break your body for a future self that may never arrive. Even mindfulness is packaged, monetized, and sold back to you as productivity. We have become machines pretending to be human. We're too distracted to notice. We fill every gap with noise, every train ride, every quiet moment in line, even the silence between thoughts. There's no stillness. No space for the Tao to move through us, because we're too busy moving away from it. Always watching something, listening to something, escaping something. And yet we wonder why we feel untethered. And when it comes to love, we chase people who aren't chasing us. We sculpt ourselves to be more likable, more acceptable, more enough. We analyze texts, we rehearse conversations, we grip tightly to a connection that maybe was never meant to be. But Wu Wei doesn't chase, it doesn't force, it allows. It lets the right people arrive and the wrong ones leave, without resistance. It knows that water shapes stone not through effort, but by flowing. So maybe the question isn't, what should I do? Maybe it's, what would happen if I stopped trying so hard? Because Wu Wei is not about doing nothing. It's about not doing what takes you further from who you are. Laozi offers a quieter way. In pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In pursuit of the Tao, every day something is dropped. This is not self-help. This is self-unraveling, unbecoming what was never yours to carry. Chapter 4. Sink into the Tao. The Tao is the way, not your path. The path, the one underneath your footsteps all along. The Tao is like water. It benefits all things without competing. Water does not try, yet it moves mountains. It yields, yet it endures. It surrenders, yet it shapes. What would it mean for you to live like water? To stop pushing, to stop proving, to simply exist, and in existing, flow. Not every current is yours to follow. Let go of the oars. Watch where the river takes you. That is the essence of Taoism, or Taoism, from the Chinese word Dao, meaning the way, isn't a religion in the traditional sense. It's more like a whisper from the universe, suggesting that there's a natural rhythm to everything, a current, a path, a way things are meant to flow, not by rules, but by harmony. Taoism asks us to step back and observe, rather than impose. It challenges the human obsession with control, ambition, and fixed meaning. Instead of fighting to dominate nature or define every truth, it invites you to live with nature. Those who live this way, attuned to the subtle unfolding of life, are known as a sage. Can you imagine yourself living like a sage? Hold on to that thought. I'll ask you again when we reach the end of this video. Chapter 5. The illusion of control. You do not control the tides. You do not control the sky. But you keep pretending you control your life. You plan. You force. You grip. You chase. You micromanage your destiny and wonder why anxiety haunts your sleep. Control is the prison. Wu Wei is the key. Suffering often comes not from pain itself, but from our resistance to what is. You are not meant to strangle life into submission. You are meant to dance with it. There's an old story that's been told for generations in China, and it goes something like this. A farmer's horse ran away one day. His neighbors came to him in sympathy. "What terrible luck," they said. The farmer simply replied, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned and brought 7 wild horses with it. Now the neighbors were excited. "How lucky you are," they said. The farmer simply replied with, "Maybe." Soon after, the farmer's son tried to tame one of the wild horses. He was thrown and broke his leg. Again, the neighbors came. "What misfortune?" they said. The farmer answered, "Maybe." A week later, soldiers came to the village to recruit young men for the army. When they saw the farmer's son, they passed him over. His leg was broken. The neighbors returned. "What a blessing," they said. And the farmer replied, as always, "Maybe." This story gently reminds us that our emotions, whether joy, sorrow, or worry, are fleeting waves on the surface of life's deeper current. We often rush to label events, allowing preconceived ideas to shape our feelings and cloud our judgment. These reactions can trap us in self-made stories about the future, spinning narratives that may never come to pass. One of Taoism's most profound voices, Zhuangzi, would certainly agree. A philosopher whose stories dance between wisdom and paradox. Living over 2,000 years ago, Zhuangzi expanded the Taoist vision by inviting us to see the world beyond rigid labels of good and bad, fortunate and unfortunate. He taught that such judgments are human inventions, often clouded by our limited perspective. Things arise together and perish together. We should not be so quick to fix the value of things, he said. Taoism encourages us not to rush into judgment. Instead, it invites us to simply observe, without forcing meaning or expectation. Of course, be grateful for the good that arrives and acknowledge the challenges when they come, but do so with openness and balance. The farmer's calm, maybe, teaches us that life's true nature is uncertain and ever-changing, and our attempts to control or predict it often lead to confusion and suffering. In this way, Taoism shows us the wisdom of embracing life as it unfolds, free from the weight of fixed opinions. And in embodying this calm acceptance, one walks the path of the sage. The sage does not label the moment. He lets the moment unfold, the art of stillness in uncertainty, the refusal to force what cannot be known. If these words feel like water for a thirst you forgot you had, stay. This space is for thinkers who are tired of being told to chase more, be more, buy more. Here we remember. Here we rebel, not with noise, but with silence. Subscribe to Cogito Rebellion, not for answers, but for alignment, not for noise, but for depth. Your rebellion begins with reflection. Chapter 7. When action is required. Wu Wei is not weakness, it is wisdom. A tiger does not pounce at every noise, it waits, it watches, then it moves. And oh, it never misses. To act with Wu Wei is not to avoid action. It is to act from stillness, not panic, from knowing, not forcing. Sometimes inaction is cowardice. Sometimes action is ego. But Wu Wei is truth. Silent, powerful, pure. True power doesn't shout, it arrives. Let go of the myth of constant motion. You are not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. Now do you understand the way? Do you want to thread these practices into your everyday? Begin small. Walk without headphones. Say no without guilt. Pause before you speak. Breathe before you decide. Don't meditate to become productive. Sit just to sit. Don't force love. Don't force healing. Let what comes, come. Let what goes, go. Life is not a ladder. It is a field. You do not climb. You unfold. Burnout. How often do you hear people say they are burnt out? Western societies idolize grind culture, praising being busy, being exhausted, equating constant work with optimization, productivity, and value, and no guesses as to why one feels completely burnt out. Burnout is not weakness. It is your body revolting against unnatural demands. When the soul is forced to live by the calendar, the clock becomes a cage. Nature never rushes, yet everything gets done. Rest is not retreat. It is resistance. It is an act of faith in the flow. To stop when the world tells you to go, that is rebellion. To sleep when your worth is measured in output, that is courage. There is no medal for exhaustion, but there is peace in realignment. Chapter 10. Return to your nature. Before the noise, you knew how to be. Before the pressure, you simply were. Return to that place. Walk barefoot on grass. Watch clouds drift. Be bored. Be silent. You are not a machine. You are a rhythm, a breeze, a breath, a being. Wu Wei is not a technique. It is a remembering. You are already it. Just let yourself be again. Surrender to the quiet rebellion against the noise. A deep breath in a world addicted to doing. A reminder that sometimes the wisest path is the one that goes around the mountain, not through it. And maybe it's an invitation to listen more, push less, and trust that life, like water, knows where to go. As Laozi said, when I let go of who I am, I become what I might be. And yet we struggle, we strain, we sink. But the truth is, you only drown when you fight the water. Let go and float. This is not escape. This is not denial. This is the deepest kind of return. To the Tao, to yourself, to freedom. Let the rebellion begin with surrender. Let it carry you home. Now I will ask you again, do you find yourself caught up in this perfectionist regime, always moving 100 miles an hour to piece together every little aspect of your life? Could you do with a sprinkle of harmony, of letting go, of Wu Wei, of the Tao? Thanks for staying with me this far. If you found something genuine and relatable in this video, do share it in the comments section below. I think these ideas from the fathers of Taoism could be somewhat weaved into all our lives for the better. So, let's continue the conversation together. There are many more philosophers and ideas coming your way. So if you want real, practical insights on living a fuller, more meaningful life, make sure you don't miss the next video. We are the Cogito Rebellion.